Hey everybody, welcome back to Hawthorn. Nic and I are finally reunited. Nic actually drove out first with Pam, and I just came in a couple of days ago. So Nic actually already got a sneak peek at the property.
Well, we arrived, it was a Saturday. The next day, we kind of explored Hawthorn a little bit. So we just took an inventory of each of the bunkies and the shipping container, and it looks like they mostly wear well through the winter.
Well, that's good news.
It's nice to see. There is a wasp nest in one, or a couple of wasp nests. Looks like they're those very territorial ones. I forget what they're called.
Hornets or yellow jackets?
Yeah, yellow jackets. Yeah, a little bit of staining on one of the bunkies from snow buildup, because we didn't stain it yet, so just a little bit of discoloration. Yeah, and other just like little things as we went through the trailer or the bunkies, which was good. I was expecting to see more, but I'm sure more surprises will pop up as we go through the season. Yeah, it was nice to see the land again. Great to see the bunkies with roofs on them.
What do you think of the colors?
The colors are brilliant. So the metal roofs were all from BML roofing, and green. So we've seen that one, green roof, on what we call the Lupin bunkie. But the spruce and the goldenrod bunkie both got their roofs blue and red. So they each kind of have a different color, different scheme, different color scheme. All of them hoping they'll kind of each be unique rather than being cookie cutter, being the same. And they look great. Red was a good choice. Your favorite color?
I love red. I think you also called me in panic when you were trying to unlock the trailer.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, that was the first day that we went to check out the bunkies, and the plan was to move the trailer over that day. So we did a bunch there. We had a bunch of things in the truck, including an off-grid fridge, a solar fridge. So our neighbor Jody came over to help me offload that fridge, and then with the truck empty, we went back to hitch up the trailer and to pull that over to Hawthorn, and then the plan was to leave right after that. And it takes forever to just pack up the trailer in general, so that we were definitely a little bit behind what we thought we would be. But then I get to the wheel lock, and the key breaks in the wheel lock, and my mom Pam, she's googling this lock, which is supposed to be a really high quality lock. It was more than the other one, but apparently this happens all the time where the key gets broken. I should really find out the name of this lock. Don't buy it. So yeah, all the time the key will break. It's a metal key, but then it's attached by plastic at the top. So I'm like, oh, at least make a fully metal key so that I'd have more leverage to turn it. Yeah. Anyway, long story short, it took a long time to actually get that lock off of the tire, and it's kind of a type of lock that blocks the wheel from moving. So yeah, we couldn't move the trailer without unlocking that first. Luckily Alice had some tools that we're able to use to get some leverage on the key and got it unlocked. And so then we're looking at the time and thinking, by the time we move the trailer, and also once we land the trailer, there's still more to do. So raining at the time, we decided to stay an extra day. And yeah, so I did. I called you in panic. You reached out to the person that sold us the trailer for his advice on a couple things. There was something else with the hitch that I wasn't remembering, the order of things. I guess I was remembering the order of things, but I wasn't sure I was doing it right. And then we got some advice about how to get the hitch in properly.
All right, Nick and I are at the causeway. We are on our way back to Cape Breton, ready to start the project. We have Roku here in the crates. Welcome to Cape Breton. We had a fun few days in Dartmouth. How was your 10-day drive here? It wasn't 10 days, was it?
It wasn't. Which of course was a little bit tiring. So it was a 3-night stop before London, and then we also had 3 stops after London, Ontario. So altogether, then London being one of the stops, so 7 nights. The 8th night arriving in Cape Breton. So you can say 8 full days of driving. What was interesting is some of the stops that we made. I'm looking, of course, so one of the filters is dog friendly now, because we have Roku. We're traveling with Roku, so I was looking for things that were not like in the middle of a downtown or in the middle of a busy city, and things that were Roku safe, and things that were very affordable as well, and then had a space for Pam to have a room or a bed and me to have a bed, like kind of separate sleeping spaces. There's a lot of, rooms for 2 people or kind of just have one bed unless you go to a motel. So those were their criteria. Basically, in every stop, there were like 2 or 3 options. There really wasn't much to choose from, which I guess made it easier to settle on something. And we ended up staying at really interesting places. Almost all of them were a little bit more rural, kind of slightly off the beaten path, off of the highway, not too far from kind of the main road that we were taking, maybe 10 minutes out of the way. And the first one was in Saskatchewan, so we stayed with a couple there that have a farm. The guy was a bit of a self-proclaimed grumpy guy, and even he was won over a bit by Roku. So that was a really nice stay. The second stay was in North Dakota, again off the beaten path. That place was an older school that used to be an inn, and the people that bought it, they live there. It's their family home, but they're also wanting to rent out some separate rooms in the place. The historic nature of the building was really fun to check out. They all had each of the rooms had attached bathrooms to them, so really super convenient. North Dakota felt really long, I guess just the way we were going through it, and through a few different states. And then I think where we stayed was Rockford, it's Illinois, right? So that's where we landed that night. That was, I think, 13 hours in the car, so pretty long. A longer day.
How many kilometers was that?
1,300.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we landed in Rockford and basically looked for a motel. We were kind of just driving until we felt like it was the limit of what we could reach, so that we'd have less driving to do the next day to get to London. Yeah, we got to London at a decent time, so we were able to have dinner with my Aunt Lenny, and then drive over to my cousin Michelle's house and visit with her for a bit, although we were so exhausted that it wasn't much of a visit. I had to apologize because I felt like, we were not all present just because we were so tired. Yeah, the next day we took off to Beamsville, and that's where
Canadian off-grid?
Yeah, really went to Beansville mostly just to look at the bunkies that they have Brian has a friend that is building bunkies that are all they're already done up, essentially. They're not like the kits that we got. And they're Highland outbuildings. So we got Bunky Life buildings, which were great, and we assemble them, they come packed. And these buildings are essentially all done. Anyway, we were curious to just kind of take a look at the buildings in person. Not that we're getting any bunkies I guess this season, but just to know. And then we took off to Oakville to pick up the off-grid fridge. That meant like completely unpacking the bed of the truck and then repacking it. So that got my Tetrising skills going. And I also left one of the camping mats somewhere. I didn't repack it. I don't know where it went. Anyway, it's somewhere in Ontario. Then we took off to Madoc, which is a small town in Ontario, and that's kind of on the way, and that was enough driving for the day, just because we had those stops. From there, we went past Montreal, just past Montreal, to a town called St. Samuel. Thank you. Really beautiful space. So that property, that was really excellent experience. It was really well done. It was the building we were in was newly built. We got the whole floor, we got one whole level, essentially private space, for basically the same price we're paying for rooms along the way, so that was really reasonable. And it was modeled after a horse stable, like it was designed to look like a horse stable. And so one thing it doesn't have is privacy between the rooms, because it looks like a horse stable. You can literally see from one end to the other through the bars at the top. Really interesting space. I took a couple of photos and videos. That would be fun to share as well. I think they did a fantastic job. There were 3 bedrooms. We slept lots of people. They accepted dogs as well. We drove from St. Samuel to St. Nicholas, I think. That's what Google Maps said we were. But I thought it was kind of fun, because it was like the directions it was giving us was from Samuel to Nicholas. And then the next stop we made was Nakawik, so in New Brunswick, and that's where we stayed last year. We stayed at that brewery right on the St. John River, which was so nice. Last year when we had the trailer, we used Harvest House and they let us stay there. This time we stayed at Nakawik Motel. New Brunswick looked really beautiful as we were driving through it. Nakawik is a great little spot. Got a photo of Roku right in front of the Big Axe. We went from there. We stopped in Moncton to see another friend, also named Carolyn. We had coffee with her, and then from there straight to Marguerite. And like I said, we landed in Marguerite quite late, so we finally got to the trailer and could relax. Roku made himself at home. Going through the border services this time was a lot nicer on the Canadian side, and on the American side it wasn't really nice, it was just neutral. We pulled up to the border services. My mom's like, I don't know why, she doesn't like going through the border, so she gets all discombobulated. So she's like, oh, what do I need to give you? What? The guy's like, usually passports are good. he was good about it. He just made a joke.
Okay, we are passing by our little watering hole again. There it is. Yep, still watering. Thank goodness for Crocs.
Yeah, I don't have my Crocs. Well, I don't own Crocs.
Okay.
Also,
Hey, Nic and I drive instead? No. Good thing I've been doing yoga and that we're not too far away from Hawthorn now. Roku, are you excited to go to Hawthorn? Yeah, you look like you are. Emerging from your little den. One more turn and here we are. We're so close to Hawthorn, can you believe? Turning in. Ah! How exciting! For me anyways, since this is still new to me. All right, home sweet home. This is pretty cool. We got our little food forest going on. I don't even know what's what in here anymore. Okay, let's look at the garden here. Looks like the chives and the mint survived from last year. They're pretty indestructible. And there's various walking onions that I brought back from Calgary that are still alive. And more chives. And the sea buckthorn is still surprisingly alive, despite this being very, very wet soil. And the comfrey lived. This is exciting. Nick, we're home! We're here. Getting our power all set up. We got our internet here with our EcoFlow river. And these are EcoFlow Delta Pro in the battery. Hopefully it'll last us with this overcast day, but we will start generating some power tomorrow again. Setting up the other solar panels so we can have some power. There's not much sun left today, but we'll collect what we can. What do you think? Oh, the sun's out. We should check how much the river is getting. 38. Nice. We'll get internet through the night. Okay, making my way to the spruce, this haven, with its brand new roof. Look at that. Okay, we got this nice, cute little green roof on the bathroom bunkie. Looks fantastic. Roku's excited. And then we have this red roof peeking out from the corner. This is the goldenrod overlooking the meadow. This is our second day in Hawthorn. We survived the first night, and we still have electricity.
Yeah, because we don't have a battery that's can hold a charge. Mostly because we're off grid, and so if we were plugged in regularly, this battery wouldn't have drained. But that is the kind of the cheap batteries they come with, trailers. And so the thing I figured out last night is we could turn certain breakers off. I thought about it before, but I guess I never really tried it. So yeah, it seems to be working well right now. And not drawing too much power. I think if we plug the trailer into the electric generator, it drains it. Doesn't take long to drain it completely. But yeah, with turning certain breakers off, seems to be good.
This would have made my life a whole lot easier last summer.
That's right, actually.
Instead of
those weeks,
going to other people's houses to beg them for electricity. This is great. More self-sufficient. All right, taking down the hornet's nest. So that one little one up there, there was a hornet, so gotta have the gear.